As we said, so many surprises in our important series, Made in China, Your Job, Your Future, Your Fortune. As you know, our Bill Weir traveled more than 5,000 miles across China to bring us an unprecedented look at all the different ways the country is affecting nearly every part of our lives this morning. And what every American worker needs to know about China, about their jobs, is the subject, and Bill is back.
Well, we are in our Good Morning America bedroom this morning. As many viewers are you getting ready for your day here. And well, your day started thanks to China because 80% of the clocks in this country made in
80%?
China. 80% of the clocks made in China.
No.
When Chinese started dumping bedroom sets in America, a third of American wooden furniture manufacturers lost their jobs. Chinese not only invented the toothbrush, they probably made yours and your coffee maker and your towels. And when they slashed sock prices a few years ago, a third of American sock manufacturers went out of business. And the shoes. These Nikes, brand new, pretty nice, $74, right? The question is, what would they cost if they were made in America? So to find out how many other American jobs are endangered because of all of this low-priced stuff, I followed this Made in China label, 7,000 miles, right to the source.
We dip south on this leg of the journey, deep into the belching hub of industry that is the Guangdong province, over jammed highways through humid smog to Shoe Town. This is not a sweatshop. In fact, by Chinese standards, this place is a country club. They even have a golf course. Overtime is limited to a 48-hour work week. They bring in a ton of rice a day to feed everyone, and there is housing. Massive, sweltering dormitories that sleep 8 to a room.
This is yours?
Yes.
That's a firm night's sleep right there, yeah.
Nike admits that some factory owners treat their workers horribly. But again, this is not a sweatshop. But this is why your shoes are affordable. Because they're made by people willing to live here and do this for $31 a week. 15 times less than the wage paid at an American factory. What should be sobering for other American workers is that these people with this work ethic are becoming upwardly mobile. The conditions and surroundings are pretty good, Shen Zihong tells me. If nothing urgent comes up, I'll probably work here a while. After just a year, this 22-year-old from the countryside has already been promoted off the assembly line, and her co-workers are all on the lookout for better jobs. As this economy explodes, they will move beyond cheap shoes. China is striving to design and build our cars and airplanes and satellites. They want to cure our diseases and sell us the medicine. And they won't rest until they do.
Whenever there's a rush, the young kids will basically sleep in this building. And
they go to the mattresses.
Exactly.
At the genomics lab in Beijing, technicians sleep at their desks under slogans that read, "Occupy the hilltop first, clean up the war zone later."
We use 24 hours, 7 days, compared to other people's 5 days and 8 hours. And that's how we can squeeze out more and getting a little bit cost advantage here in China.
When SARS hit Asia, this lab was able to isolate the genetic makeup of the virus in a day and a half. So it is no wonder that more and more American companies are tapping into this vast, motivated, and increasingly brilliant talent pool.
So when this goes to market, someone will be able to log onto the computer and see any kind of action they choose in any angle that they choose in real time?
Real time.
Microsoft opened this lab in Beijing 7 years ago, and the young people doodling their inspiration on tables are China's best and brightest. And that's saying something here. It's no big deal to be 1 in a million in China. These kids are 1 in a billion. They acknowledge America's superiority. But for those in Silicon Valley tempted to scoff at these upstarts, it's important to remember that New England was once the shoemaking capital of the world. And we all know what happened to those jobs.
There will be winners and losers from globalization. Most of this society wins. We win every time we go shopping because prices are lower, choice is greater. But there are losers. There's people who will lose their jobs either to foreign competition or technological innovation. And we need to help those people.
There ain't no such thing as an American job, okay? There's just a job. And in many cases, it will go to the most efficient, cheapest, smartest person who can do that job. You as an individual have to locate yourself now increasingly globally and think of yourself as competing with people globally.
For example, if you sell cosmetics, you can't just worry about the competition across the street anymore. You have to worry about Hu Ji across the world. A few years ago, she seemed destined to work on a construction site. Then she discovered eBay. Now she has her own office and makes a living selling face cream to women everywhere.
You may be the next cosmetic mogul of China.
Yeah, I think so.
We need to, in some ways, tool our workers, tool our society much better to deal with a dynamic world of essentially one market, 24/7, where things are constantly changing.
My parents used to say to me, Tom, finish your dinner. People in China and India are starving. And what I tell my girls today is, girls, finish your homework. People in China and India are starving for your jobs.
Oh my! This makes me want to go to bed. I thought I worked hard. What are Americans supposed to do? Americans are working their little tushes off.
They are.
How can we keep up with that?
But you know what? Smarts will always beat brawn. As long as we can innovate, as long as we can think one step ahead, as long as we're aware that we're now competing globally, I think that's the case. I mean, we're so sort of myopic in this country, we don't realize we're fighting those people on the other side of the world as well.
It's about making strategic.
It's about making strategic. It's like when we went from a society of farmers to an industrial nation. People went from 7th grade to a high school education. We need to make college that much more important in this country. And speaking of education, each year, American math and science students are humbled by the kids in Asia. So we wanted to see exactly what the educational differences are. And tomorrow, you will see a day in the life of a high school student in America and one in Beijing, and the differences are startling.